We have some plants we have to pick up for some large pots, some vases, um, some oil vases that we have out in Glendale. Has some pretty good sized pots. So I need to find some plant material that will be conducive for the shade, because where it's at, it's just total shade, no sun at all. So come over to my favorite nursery here on the west side in Long Beach to look at their shade collection. So let's check them out. This is all of our shade collection down here, all under the shade cloth. There's a lot of different varieties of plant material. We have some gardenias. These gardenias look like they're Gardenia veitchis, ever blooming gardenias. Really nice, shiny evergreen leaves. There's one in blossom right now. So this is what the flower looks like when it's in blossom, but that happens pretty much throughout the year. They call them ever blooming. This one is looking pretty good. Like, they cut them back pretty recent, so give them a little bit of a break. We're here in early part of December, so all the plants have gotten a haircut to kind of slow down things, and it got fertilized, so come springtime they'll be ready to kick out new blossoms. This looks like a camellia right here, or hibiscus. So it's pretty. It doesn't have a tag in it. We have some different palms here and some other plant material over here. I'm not sure what the name of this is, but it's a little bit too bulky for what we want. Oh man, that's a really nice looking tree fern. I might have to make a swap with the ones I got. I got some Australian tree ferns. This is a Australian tree fern, but man, that's looking really good. I might have to take that and make an exchange. I didn't notice that one there, so I have to come back and pick that one up and make an exchange. Maybe. But there's some shade. There's some ferns. Looks like some western sword ferns. And so this is the selection I pulled from over here. So that straggler down there, he was just kind of hiding out, but I found a couple really nice Australian tree ferns that grow really good in wooded environments, or wood, like a farm wooded type of design concept. But what we have is just full shade, so we need that. These some calla lilies. They'll look really good in with nice white flowers when they come up, like they've been freshly repotted. There's a red musa. It's like banana trees. Really nice. They don't produce any fruit, but they're really beautiful from the standpoint of the foliage. It has this red veining type look in them. Depending on where they are installed, they look really great. There's some more of the Australian tree ferns. And you have a philodendron. That one's called a philodendron xanadu. We have a couple of those that go in the smaller pots, and I have some plants to go around those. So I did pick up on those across the street. They have some. And also I picked up on these heucheras, also known as coral bells. Like, these have just been repotted or staged up from the liners. This particular variety, I think it's called paprika. Now this one is called Carnival Burgundy Blast. So what I picked up was some paprikas. I wanted to get a little bit of color since it's pretty dark, or I just need to get some brightening just to brighten it up on that shady side. And some other plant material here. Pretty nice looking stuff, depending on your 1 gallon gardenias, so that way you can start out small and let it grow in depending on what you have. Actually some gardenias and actually some azaleas in here. I see an azalea blossom. So mostly all this stuff is azaleas, so excuse me, this is not gardenias. These are azaleas, and depending on what time of the year it is, they bloom out. They have some that bloom in the spring, some that bloom in the fall. A lot of azaleas, they like to bloom in the fall. And here's what I was thinking about putting in the first, was these begonia richmondensis, which has some color to them, and they also have a really nice glossy foliage to them. But this begonia is not your typical bedding begonia. This begonia is called begonia richmondensis, and I was considering using this as around the main feature in the middle of the pot, but I decided against it. And I got some spider plants that. I think it'll look pretty good in the vase instead of using those Richmondensis. Some more of the Australian tree ferns. Really nice selections of stuff. You have to kind of look through it. Some bleeding hearts. This is the flower that it puts out. Really nice flower. Depending upon the design concept, these look really good. They look kind of like scraggly and raggedy looking, all grouped together, but if you found a really nice selection and put it in and put it on a trellis, it'll look really nice, especially with all these flowers hanging down like that. Depending on the design concept, it could look really good. So here's some azaleas that are blooming out late fall, winter, going into the spring. Really nice. The only thing about it, once they bloom out, that's it until the next blooming season. So they bloom like once a year. You have some white. The white looks really great, really bright white. Acid loving plants. So whenever we do plantings with the azaleas, camellias, we have to have a foundation of acid loving plants. They have a lot of these tree ferns all over the place. Get kind of spoiled looking at the different ones, making swaps. Here is your philodendron xanadus, really nice and full. And here's some other begonias. This particular begonia over here is called angel wing begonias. They're a little bit more upright in growth stature, and you break them off and this is what you got going on. So depending upon what type of design concept you like, to just prune them back. So depending upon where you install them, like in a corner or something, you want height, I think this will work really good. It's height and color in the shady area. This is what they look like when they're a little bit bigger. This is a 5 gallon. So they've been staged up to 5. More xanadus. Back in the back, got some camellias. This looks like a camellia sustantia. It's all budded up. It's nice. It'll look really good on a trellis. And what is this? I forget the name of this right off the top, but they use this a lot. I think it's a juga. They use this a lot in ground cover. Yeah, a juga rippens. This is like this purple. It's really nice. So as a ground cover, it stretches out and it roots up pretty well. So it'll help fill in the area, like on a slope or a shady area. It'll look really good. This is kind of flower that it has. Nice purple flower. It sticks up in there. That purple is really cool because it gives a little bit of contrast. We have that ground cover going on to fill in some spaces. You have your Sansevierias, also known as mother-in-law's tongue and stuff. It's different names they give it, but there's different types of the aglamenias. There's one over here. This is pretty cool. Check this out. It's a different color of the actual blade as opposed to your more common. You see the differences in the blade. That one's a combo. So whoever got that really have a nice combination of patterns from the standpoint of the sword. Here's some coleuses. Coleuses are really nice. You don't see a lot of coleuses out here in Southern California because of the heat, but they do have it available and they do look really nice in the right setting. I know they use quite a bit back in the Midwest and back east. So a lot of coleuses are used. That one's looking really nice. So in a grouping or a pot or something like that, like a mass planting, they'll look really good. But those is the choices I had from this nursery here. As you see, I have hundreds of flats of different types of plant material. A lot of stuff has just been staged up, getting things ready for the spring. So by the time springtime comes, all this stuff will be good and ready to go. A lot of 4-inch pot, herbs, things like that. I'll take you down here to show you what I pulled out for our job out here in Glendale. They have roses, a lot of vegetables and stuff like that. Picked up some vegetables today for myself and for a friend of mine. And they have some different types of natives and stuff going on too. But this supplier also supplies a lot of plant material for the big box stores and stuff down here in SoCal. They do have some larger stuff. They just brought in this load of bougainvilleas today. As I was pulling up, they were coming to offload these. So these bougainvilleas are really nice. This is red on a trellis. They just water them down. But these will make really great screening. I think these doesn't have that much of a thorn. It has a really small thorn on it. But it does have thorns, but some of them have really lethal thorns. There's some that's on a 15-gallon on a pole. But I'm gonna show you what I got. ¿Qué pasó? This is what I got. I picked up some spider plants to put on the outside perimeter of the pot, and also some heucheras to put around the outside perimeter of the smaller pots. This one variety is called paprika. It's going to have a really nice wispy type flower, and this will put out your flowers, but it'll have the tendrils that'll hang down, which I think will look pretty cool in those big vases, big tall vases. But as you can see, my selections of my Australian tree fern, I mean, they're kind of like wispy, so I think I'll go back and make an exchange. It's just like, I noticed these other ones that are back there in the back, but just wanted to take you on a little tour of the plant material here at my favorite nursery on the west side of Long Beach. I'll tell you the secret of name of the place. If you leave a comment on what you think about this video, I'll give you the secret. So for you people that live down here in SoCal, I'll let you know where it's at. There's your diamondia for our ground cover. We're going to use that on the job site, provided that the client approves us to go forward. So stay tuned and watch the magic.